Imagine teaching your computer to think the way a human brain does, not by writing rules, but by letting it learn from data. That's what neural networks do. In this video, we're going to break them down in the most intuitive way possible. What they are, how they work, and then build one from scratch, line by line in code. No math-heavy jargon, just pure understanding. Let's dive into neural networks. Let's start with a simple question. What is a neural network? At its core, a neural network is just a computer program designed to recognize patterns. It's inspired by the human brain, made of artificial neurons that connect together in layers. Here's a real-world example. Think about how you recognize a friend's face. You don't go through a mental checklist. You just know. That's because your brain has seen enough examples and learned what features to look for. Neural networks do the same thing. You feed them data and they learn from it, without being explicitly programmed with rules. They're used in everything from voice assistants, like Siri or Alexa, face recognition, fraud detection, medical diagnosis, and even self-driving cars. The magic is that they learn from examples just like we do. A neural network is built in layers. First is input layer. This is where the data comes in. Each feature of your data is one input. For example, is it raining, temperature, or time of day? Second is hidden layers. These are where the real computation happens. Each layer has multiple neurons. Every neuron takes inputs, multiplies them by weights, adds a bias, and applies a function called the activation function. The output then flows to the next layer. Last one is output layer. This gives the final prediction. If you're predicting yes/no, like will the customer buy, this might be a single neuron with a value between 0 and 1. So in short, data goes in, calculations happen, and a decision comes out. Now the question is, how does a neural network learn? Here's the process. First is forward propagation. Here, the input data passes through the network layer by layer. Each neuron calculates a result and passes it to the next. Next is loss function. Here, after getting the output, we check how far off it is from the correct answer. This difference is the error or loss. Then back propagation. In this step, the network works backward from the output to figure out which weights caused the error and how to adjust them. Then comes gradient descent. Using a method called gradient descent, it slightly updates the weights to reduce the error. This cycle is repeated thousands of times until the network makes very accurate predictions. Let's imagine a very simple use case. To understand it more properly, you're building a system to predict whether someone will buy coffee. You have two features. First, is it morning? Second, is it cold?
And your output is
1 equal to buys coffee. 0 means does not buy the coffee. You feed this data into the network. At first, the network guesses randomly, but as it trains, seeing more examples and correcting itself, it learns patterns like if it's cold or morning, people are more likely to buy coffee. Now let's build this neural network from scratch using just Python and NumPy. We use NumPy to handle array operations, essential for neural networks, which are basically matrix math under the hood. Next, we will define input by writing x equals to np.array to make an array where we will input values as shown. Now, each row here is a scenario as shown. Now that we've defined our input data, the next step is to specify the expected outcome for each input. This is what we call the target output, stored in the variable y. This is essentially the correct answer that the neural network should try to learn and predict. The variable y is a NumPy array with 4 rows and 1 column, where each row matches the corresponding input in x. So, for the first input, meaning it's not morning and not cold, the target output is 0, indicating that the person does not buy coffee in that scenario. For the other 3 cases, the target output is 1, meaning coffee is purchased. This setup is teaching our neural network a simple rule. If it's morning, cold, or both, people are likely to buy coffee. During training, the network will try to adjust its internal parameters, weights, so that when it sees these inputs, it produces outputs as close as possible to the values in Y. Next, in this step, we define a crucial mathematical function that helps our neural network learn. It's called the sigmoid activation function. Neural networks need activation functions to introduce nonlinearity, meaning they can learn more complex patterns instead of just drawing straight lines through the data. Let's look at the function we've written. This is the classic sigmoid function, and here's how it works. It takes any number, whether it's negative, positive, or 0, and transforms it into a value between 0 and 1. So for example, if the output of a neuron is a large positive number, sigmoid will squash it down close to 1. If the output is a large negative number, it'll be squeezed near 0. This is perfect for binary problems, like predicting yes or no, true or false, or in our case, coffee or no coffee. Now, during training, the network needs to adjust its weights, and for that, it must understand how much impact each neuron has on the final output. This is where the derivative of the sigmoid function comes in. This derivative function tells us how sensitive the output is to small changes in input. We'll use it later in the training loop when we calculate how to update the weights to reduce the error. So in short, the sigmoid function helps us make predictions between 0 and 1, and its derivative helps us fine-tune the network during learning. Now, before our neural network can start learning, we need to initialize its weights. These are the internal values that determine how much influence each input has on the final prediction. Think of weights like volume knobs for each input feature. During training, the network will adjust these knobs to get the most accurate results. Let's look at the code. We start by setting a random seed using np.random.seed1. This ensures that every time we run the code, we get the same random numbers, which is super helpful for debugging or reproducing results. Then we create the actual weights using np.random.random in parentheses 2 and 1. This generates a 2 into 1 array of random numbers between 0 and 1. Why 2 rows and 1 column? Because we have 2 input features, morning and cold, and 1 output neuron, coffee or no coffee. But here's the twist. We multiply the result by 2 and subtract 1. Why? Because we want our weights to be in the range -1 to 1, not 0 to 1. Having both positive and negative weights helps the network learn more effectively by allowing it to either boost or dampen the input signals. So, to sum it up, this step gives our neural network a starting point. These initial weights are random, and during training, they'll be updated repeatedly to reduce the error between the predictions and the actual answers. Now that we've set up our neural network's structure and initialized its weights, it's time to train the network so it can make accurate predictions. Training involves feeding the input data through the network, comparing the predictions to the actual outcomes, and adjusting the weights to minimize errors. This process is repeated multiple times to improve the network's performance. Here is how we will write the training loop. First, we will start for APEG loop. Here, we run the training process for 10,000 iterations, APEGs. Each epoch allows the network to learn and adjust its weights based on the data. Next, full forward propagation, input_layer equal to x, to assign our input data to the variable input_layer. Then weighted sum is equal to np.input_layer. Here, weights is used to calculate the weighted sum of inputs and weights. This operation combines the inputs with their corresponding weights to produce a raw output. Then outputs equal to sigmoid weighted sum, then apply the sigmoid activation function to the weighted sum to get the final output. The sigmoid function maps the output to a value between 0 and 1, making it suitable for binary classification. Medium. Now for error calculation. Error is equal to y minus outputs here. We compute the difference between the actual output, y, and the predicted output. This error indicates how far off our predictions are from the actual values. Then we go for backpropagation. Here we write adjustments equal to error multiplied by sigmoid derivative, then, in parentheses, outputs. Here, we calculate the adjustments needed for the weights. This involves multiplying the error by the derivative of the sigmoid function applied to the outputs. The derivative helps determine the direction and magnitude of the weight updates. Now, for weight update. We update the weights by adding the product of the transposed input layer and the adjustments. This step fine-tunes the weights to reduce the error in future predictions. By repeating this process over many epochs, the neural network gradually learns the optimal weights that minimize the prediction error, allowing it to make accurate predictions on new, unseen data. After training our neural network, we want to see how well it has learned to predict outcomes based on the input data. We use the following code as shown to display the final predictions. Here, outputs. Variable contains the network's predictions after training. Each value is the result of applying the sigmoid activation function, yielding a probability between 0 and 1 for each input. Now, since we're dealing with a binary classification problem, for example, deciding whether to buy coffee or not, we convert these probabilities into binary outcomes. Values equal to or above 0.5 are rounded up to 1, indicating a positive prediction, and values below 0.5 are rounded down to 0, indicating a negative prediction. This thresholding is a common practice in binary classification tasks. By printing outputs round, we can observe the final predictions of our neural network and assess its performance on the training data. There you have it, a deep and precise idea of neural networks. In the next video, we will be learning about exploring natural language processing. So stay connected, there is so much more interesting topics to come. So, if this video helped you understand neural networks clearly, drop a like and subscribe for more tutorials like this. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.